Hey everyone, it's the Late Show. How are you? Good to see you. Told you we'd be back at midnight. We're on a little late, and about 5 minutes ago, the Ericsson Sky Crane came back over, and it was making a loud racket. Yeah, Bubba the Air Crane flew over here again. So I don't know if you know the big giant helicopters that fight fires. Yeah, the one called Bubba that lives in Victoria now. I think we bought it or something like that. I think we bought it or we paid a lot of money for it to live here or something. But its name is Bubba. The original one's name was Elvis, because it was made in Memphis or something. Yeah, so that's all everyone gets a kick out of it when they come over. I wanted to show you something. Muffin, what are you doing, buddy? Oi, sir. The cat is here. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, buddy, I'm trying to do something. Hold on. You just had your breakfast. Come on. I wanted to show you this. Watch this. I'm going to turn on the camera and you guys are going to see Muff. Here you go. Look at this. What are you doing? Crazy animal. No one needs to see your ear. It's not a doctor's appointment. Hey, what are you doing? Where are you going? Okay. He's like a snake. He just disappears. All right, we'll see what he do. We'll see what he does. Look at this. Just a tail. All right. Hey, hold on, guys. Muffin, hold on. He gets too feisty and he starts like wanting to claw. He was on the back of the computer screen and he wanted to claw it. Oh, he gets too worked up after he eats. All right, no more interruptions from kitties. So, new audio reveals eerie knocking sounds from the Titan sub. So, if you remember, the Titan sub, like the day after we all heard it was missing, there was a moment in time where they kept saying, "Oh, we heard knocking down there. They're still alive. They're trying to, signal for us to come and get them. They're alive." Well, no, they weren't alive. They died instantly the day of their adventure down to the Titanic. They died about an hour 30 minutes into the trip. They just obliterated. They turned into just nothing. It's just the pressure's so heavy down there that unfortunately it claimed their lives due to a malfunction in the hull design. But this new documentary that's coming out, released in England, Channel 5 and ITN Productions, called the Titan Sub Disaster. I think it's called like Minute by Minute. So they're going to go through the whole time frame. But I wanted to show you the trailer here.
But then, an extraordinary development.
Late in day 2, CNN reports that the Canadians heard banging noises at 30-minute intervals from under the ocean, and that changed everything.
This is the sound that was heard.
There you go. There's the little trailer from. I have to replay it to get rid of it. Hold on. All right, there we go. That's the noise that apparently they heard that they thought could have been someone banging on the side of the hull. Now, you can be forgiven for thinking that, right? It really sounds like maybe someone's banging on the side of the ship. But you got to understand that these microphones, and especially the ones the Navy has that they didn't want to disclose where, what they are, where they are, what technology they were very secretive about it. But even the other ones that the Canadians had and things like that, they did not want to they didn't want to disclose any of that, but they're really sensitive. They're really, really sensitive, and they can hear all sorts of stuff, including whales. I heard a recording of one of these, microphones. It picked up a whale, and you could hear the whale like singing underwater. And this was in like California, and the whale was apparently out near like Japan somewhere. So they're ultra sensitive. So that noise could have come from anywhere. It really could have. Hey, the Journey to Justice. I hope they didn't feel a thing or knew it was coming. Unfortunately, I think we do have evidence to know that they did know something was wrong. They apparently, when they were down there, their lights went crazy, and they did actually know something was not 100% right. So, unfortunately, I don't think it was like a sort of like, oh, look at the water, and then just nothing. I think it was maybe even for a second they might have known something was up. There was some transcript that was released, not the one that was fake. There was another one that said they were communicating with the mothership at one point and knew there was some lights or something that weren't right. So it's a very horrible situation, unfortunately, and there's no one left on Earth to hold accountable, really. The owner was this fella here. He died in the in the trip, so you can't hold him accountable. He was the CEO of OceanGate, Stockton Rush. So what can you do? All you can do is make sure it never happens again. That's it. Make these type of submersibles fit a standard and testing before they're used. Right, I think that's the hardest part that I found about it, is that the son didn't wanna go, and he was really afraid of the small space and going underwater, and the fact that he died on that trip, it's almost like he had a premonition that his body was telling him, "I don't wanna go." Hey, Emma. Hey, my friend. How are you? Good to see you. So yeah, I don't know when that documentary is coming out. Channel 5, minute by minute. Hold on, let's see. It is. It aired last week. There you go. It aired last week. Apparently, I want to see if we can find it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a download for you, and then I can put it in the chat. Let me see if it's on my list. No, it says it airs on the 22nd. It's interesting. London, Thursday, 22nd of February, 9 o'clock. It says it's an upcoming documentary. Okay, I'll have to, no, okay. No, it is next week. Next Thursday, Wednesday and Thursday, it airs on Channel 5 in the UK. So there you go. If you want to watch that, you got a source for the UK TV, you can watch it on Channel 5 next week. Hey Marilyn, how are you? Hey Lux and Emma and Marilyn. Okay. I hate wanting says he's putting your scent on the equipment in case you think that room belongs to you. He thinks everything belongs to him. He thinks anything I own is his, my food is his. He's a crazy, crazy animal. All right. Let's talk about a missing 13-year-old girl from Orange County. Orange County. Let's have a look. Her name is Madeline Soto. We had a Soto that was murdered last year, remember? That pregnant woman, she was shot with her boyfriend. Her last name was Soto as well. This is the case of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. It says this evening the Kissimmee Police Department, working in conjunction with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, arrested Stephen Stearns, 37, for sexual battery and possession of child abuse material. Stephen Stearns is the boyfriend of Madeline's mother and last confirmed person to see her on the morning of February 26. During the investigation into Madeline's disappearance, Orange County Sheriff's Office detectives discovered disturbing images when they forensically examined his phone. A review of the phone's data revealed attempts to delete evidence. Through the work of our digital forensics unit, earlier today, detectives discovered images and videos that were criminal and sexual in nature. Detectives were then able to determine that those crimes were committed at the family home, and they immediately notified the police. At this time, KPD detectives are the lead on the sexual battery case, working alongside members of our Criminal Investigations Division. The OCSO is still actively investigating Madeline's disappearance, and Stern is considered the prime suspect at this time. This afternoon, Stearns was brought to the OCSO Central Operations, where he was interviewed by Kissimmee PD and OCSO detectives. He invoked his right to an attorney and was placed under arrest. He was then transported to jail, where he will be expected to be held on no bond. Stephen Stearns had an opportunity tonight to come clean with detectives and help lead them to information about Maddie's disappearance. Her loved ones deserve answers. OCSO and the Kissimmee police will not stop until we find Maddie. The search for Madeline continues. What an absolute think that he sexually assaulted her and killed her. That's the only thing I can take from that statement, is that he was diddling his own stepdaughter. What an absolute piece of crap this guy is. You look good in that white forensic suit. You look even better in a jail suit. I hate men like this. Like, far out. Isn't there enough adult women in the world for you to have sex with? You need to do that to a friggin' 15-year-old girl, 13-year-old girl. It's disgusting. Let's see if we can find some more information about Madeline and not this freak that apparently hurt her. All right, there's a bit of an update here.
Sexual battery.
That breaking news, Kissimmee police just arrested a man in connection with the search for missing 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
He is facing charges of sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material. West 2's Lana Munoz is live for us in Orange County tonight with how he knows Soto and why he is now considered the prime suspect.
Yeah, all of this information, of course, coming into our newsroom just within the last couple of hours. Now, all of this came out after Orange County Sheriff's deputies searched Madeline's family home in Kissimmee. What they found inside was disturbing images and videos on Stephen Stearns' phone. His phone had sexual and criminal videos and images in nature, and they were confirmed that all of that took place inside of the home. There was also evidence that someone had actually tried to delete some of those images. Now, we did talk with residents here in Hunters Creek who are concerned for Madeline and her family and are hoping that she makes it home safely.
I am very concerned and scared too, because if it happens to anybody, the parents, I'm very, I feel so sorry for the parents.
That's how neighbors in Hunters Creek are reacting to the news of a 13-year-old girl who suddenly vanished. Madeline Soto attended school here at Hunters Creek Middle. Orange County Sheriff John Mina says Madeline was last seen an hour before the start of school Monday, when she was dropped off by her mother's boyfriend just a few blocks from the school, possibly at Madeline's request.
All the things that our detectives look at. I know the initial information was that she said, hey, I'm embarrassed of this vehicle, whatever, so drop me off at this location. We're still following up on all of that.
But Sheriff Mina says Madeline never entered the school. Her cell phone, which was found at home, had evidence that she had told someone she wanted to live in the woods when she turned 13. She had had a birthday just a few weeks ago.
That night, started canvassing the area, looking for any witnesses or surveillance video.
Detectives have searched Madeline's last location and any other areas where they've gotten leads. They even went door to door talking with neighbors and distributing flyers.
My heart is, what? Somebody's missing here? Because I don't know how, if you lose a child, I don't know. I will be like crazy.
I'm like, I'm a loss for words. And as a parent, it hurts to even think about, my daughter going missing or my kids. It's terrible what they're going through. My heart goes out to them.
Now, Sheriff John Mina said that they did try to question Stephen Stearns about Madeline's disappearance, but instead he wouldn't cooperate and asked for an attorney. Mina said, quote, Stephen Stearns had the opportunity tonight to come clean with detectives and help lead them to information about Madeline's disappearance. Her loved ones deserve answers, and OCSO and the Kissimmee Police Department will not stop until we find Maddie. Now, we did check with every local county to see if Stephen Stearns had any previous criminal history. We couldn't find any. In regards to Madeline Soto, the search for her does continue tonight. And of course, the sheriff's office is asking anyone with information to contact them directly. Of course, we're going to stay on top of this developing story as new information starts to come in. Make sure.
There we go. Let me clear up some details. All right. So Stephen Stearns, 37, is the boyfriend of Jen Soto, Madeline's mother. So he is like the stepfather, step-boyfriend of Madeline. Madeline disappeared earlier this week. He was the last confirmed person to see Maddie on the morning of Monday, February 26, according to the OCSO. Stearns was arrested and booked into jail on charges of sexual battery, possession of child sexual abuse material, or CSAM as they call it, after detectives found disturbing images on his phone. They also alleged that Stearns had attempted to delete evidence from his phone. According to OCSO, several sexually explicit images and videos were found on Stearns' cell phone. Detectives said it appears that whatever alleged actions were captured in the images and videos happened at the family's home. So what do you think that means? I can only take one, sort of direction on that. It's not like, oh, they're photos of him and the mom getting it on. Like, I don't think they'd even mention it if it was him and a adult. I think that, that's private business. It's not a crime. There's no need to even talk about that if that was him and the wife or him and the girlfriend. There's no point, There's only one thing I can think of, and that's why he's got those charges now of child sexual abuse material. So you put two and two together. There's the child sexual abuse material. Then they say the actions captured in those images and videos happened at the family's home. And now you have a young 13-year-old girl, Maddie Soto, who is missing. So that's all I can take from that, is that she was unfortunately living a nightmare at home. Another mother had let another monster into their family home to abuse their daughter. I'm glad the OCSO was able to get on top of this so quickly. 4 days. It's a quick investigation, but they still haven't found where Maddie is. So, according to the OCSO, several sexually explicit images and videos were found. Yeah, we said that. We know that one. That's okay. Now, the Kissimmee Police Department will lead the investigation into Stearns' sexual battery case. Officials did not elaborate further, and it's unclear if the findings have any connection to the disappearance of Soto. What else does it have connection to? To be clear, Stearns has not been arrested or charged in the Soto disappearance. However, he's considered a suspect in her disappearance and was the last person to see her. So, in other words, they have evidence to say, he did other stuff, but they don't have anything to say he made her disappear as of yet. That's the way I'm reading that. Stephen Stearns considered prime suspect in Madeline Soto's disappearance, officials say. Yep. While the Orange County Sheriff's Office continues an active investigation into Maddie Soto's disappearance, it said Stearns is considered the prime suspect in the case and was taken into custody on Wednesday. So let's see if we've got a photo of her, the poor girl. Where is she? That's a photo of her, but that's a terrible photo. Where is a better one? There we go. Where's a nice photo of her? That's nicer. Oh, yeah. Where are you taking my photos away? Here we go. Here's a photo of her. Here's Madeline Soto. She's missing in Kissimmee in Florida. Very nice looking young girl. Ah, there we go. There's another photo of different angles of her close up and further away. You know, they're saying if you've seen her anywhere, please contact the OCSO office and report it. There's her with some sunglasses. You know, she looks like any kind of 14-year-old girl, 13-year-old girl. Blonde hair, blue eyes, 5'1", 110 pounds, has dimples and distinct moles on her face. Last seen 26 of the 2nd at 8:45, walking to Hunters Creek Middle School on Town Loop Boulevard in Orlando, Florida, wearing a dark green hoodie, black shorts, white Crocs with a black backpack with gray hibiscus flowers on it. And there's another big blow up of this. See, it was her birthday only a couple of weeks ago. She just turned 13, so she just became a big girl, and she's gone. It's horrible. She's just starting to become a bit more of a young adult at 13, and she has to, you know, this has happened to her. How awful. Should be enjoying life, chasing boys, and pretending to do schoolwork. That's what she should be doing. Does it say anything else here? Here's the number. 407-423-4877. If you have any information, quote, case number 24-011313. There you go. There's another photo of her. It says, help bring Maddie home. Last seen Hunters Park Lane, Town Loop Boulevard. Yep. Great photos. The family did a great job getting really high quality photos of her. Sometimes you get photos in these missing person investigations and it's like something that was taken on a Nokia in like 2003. And you're like, how are we supposed to show people what they look like? Where do they find her? I don't know. They're still looking. Hey, Bullseye. I will... I think I know who you are. Yeah, I can't pronounce it anyway. It's alright. You can just blame it on my Spanish accent. Just say, oh, he's got a Spanish accent. It's okay. They haven't found her. She's missing. They found the boyfriend. Yeah, the video of her. I can't pronounce any of these Floridian words. Is there any other information on this one? Oh, there's a map. Okay. All right. So this is where. So that's that town. Oh, so she was found. She was last seen on this corner, I guess. Maybe on this corner, Town Loop Boulevard, and what did they say? Town Loop Boulevard and Town. Was that the only? Is that the only street? She was a few blocks from Hunters Creek Middle School. Dropped her off near the Pete United Methodist Church on Town Loop Boulevard. Okay, so there's no other street, just Town Loop Boulevard. Okay, so that must be the closest it can be. Well, where's the church? Oh, here. It's not really that close to the church unless she was dropped off like right there. I guess so. Okay, watch live coverage on Channel 9 Eyewitness News. Okay. All right. Sorry, I can't stop laughing in my head now. And it's a very serious topic. We have to be very serious. Missing people, missing kids. Okay. I don't think I have anything more about her, but that's a very startling development about her. I mean, if they end up proving what I just said earlier, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if half of Florida shows up to that jail to have a go at him. They'd all want to swing at him. I mean, that's disgusting. Let's see if there's anything else. The Orange County Sheriff's Office said more than 50 members of its emergency response team were searching for her near Osprey Park on Wednesday. Investigators said Soto was last seen 8:30. Yep. Yeah, that's interesting. It says Sheriff John Mina said Wednesday afternoon during a news conference that she was never reported as having attended school Monday. So deputies met up with her mother at the school where she filed a missing persons report. She said she left her cell phone at home that day. I don't trust anyone ever who says anyone leaves their cell phone at home. No one does that. It's not a thing. When people say, oh, they left their car keys, the home keys, their wallet, and their cell phone at home, but please believe me, they're out there somewhere and they're alive. I never believe it. The journey to justice. So that's where he said he dropped her off. Yeah, right. That's what I don't. Who knows? If they're saying that this information can't be corroborated by anyone, it could be that. Well, you'd think the mum would have seen her. Like the mum lives in the home, right? So when was the last time the mum saw her? When was the mum? Let's see. Let's see. Can we find anything about when the mum last saw her? What about the Orlando Sentinel? Do you have any information for me, Sentinel? Let's see. Let's see. In an email from the Orange County Sheriff's Office, in conjunction. Last seen with Stearns after he allegedly dropped her off in front of a church several blocks away from. Why would you drop her off so many blocks away from the school? Even if kids were embarrassed to be with the parent or whatever guardian, they would just. It just wouldn't be several blocks. It'd be like, just around the corner. So they could get out the car and find a friend and walk to school. It wouldn't be like, hey, I dropped you off 5 miles from school. You can walk there now. You're all good. What does it say? It's interesting that there was last seen. Maybe that's the point that the mum last saw her when he was supposed to drop her off at school, but then she never made it to school. And that's why they're saying that's the last time anyone saw her. If that's not true, then maybe it could be anything else. Just can't get a clear answer. Hold on. Actually, what's this say? Search crews looking for Neil.
13-year-old girl. Sky Fox over the scene just a short time ago. These folks are out searching in the area of Osprey Park. This is right near Hunters Creek. Authorities say 13-year-old Maddie Soto was last seen Monday, just one day after her birthday. She was dropped off for school that morning on Monday. She did not make it inside the school. Maddie may be wearing a green jacket, black shorts, and white Crocs. Fox 35 was able to speak with her mom, who says that she just wants Maddie to come home safe.
I'm trying to hope for the best, but I'm scared for her. I want her to be okay, and I want her to be safe. I don't want her to come back harmed.
So mom tells us that Maddie has never run away before. She says she does sometimes forget her cell phone at home, and she did forget her cell phone on her way to school on Monday morning. The sheriff's office is searching for Maddie with canines. That's right near Town Loop Boulevard, where we were showing you that video. Again, this is in the Hunters Creek area, Osprey Park. If you think you have seen Maddie, please call the Orange County Sheriff's Office right away. They did say that she was seen on surveillance video in a church parking lot right next to the school, but then was not seen after.
There you go. That last little bit at the end. I just wonder if hold on, let's go back to
Happening
that last
right
little bit.
now. Take a look. Was not seen after. Surveillance video in a Please call the Orange County Sheriff's Office right away. They did say that she was seen on surveillance video in a church parking lot right next to the school, but then was.
There you go. That's why it's confirmed. She was last seen in the church parking lot on surveillance video. So that's the sighting. That's why it's verified. It doesn't come from Steven Stearns because that would make the timeline irrelevant. But it comes from the surveillance video in the church. All right, so that's a verifiable source. Cheryl Huffman says late, but here. I was watching the Under Investigation show about Samantha. Oh, it's very good. I was watching it before I jumped on as well. Yes, she was seen at the church. There we go. Now we have the timeline. Okay. Where could she have gone? That's the now that's the next question. Where could she have gone? And did he re-pick her up after he dropped her off? Or did she run away because of what was happening at home? It's a little bit of a guess who situation. Let's see. Peace United Methodist. Not that type of meth. You don't go there and smoke meth. You go there and believe in God. It's not the same thing. Let's have a look in. Yes. I want to have a look at this map here and see if there's anything in the area that can give us any kind of, clues into what the area is like. Oh, wow. There's a huge amount of, wow, there's a lot of, swampland, swamp areas just across the Central Florida Greenway toll road. If you maybe I can show you. Here. So this is where she was last seen. Look at all this, just across the highway. Look at all this. All this kind of swampland. There's probably gators in here somewhere. There's gators everywhere in Florida. They live everywhere. Mailboxes, drainage ditches, stormwater runoff grates. I saw a video the other week. I'm not kidding. There was a guy that was gone out to dinner, right? And then his little kid was looking in the drain, and he's like, "What are you looking in the drain for?" And his little kid was 3, kept saying, "There's a turtle," and his dad's like, "What are you talking about, a turtle?" And he looked down there, there's a friggin' gator down there, like an 8-foot gator in the stormwater runoff thing. And they ended up pulling it out. And they called the wildlife people and they ended up pulling it out of the drain. But it was like an 8-foot gator in the stormwater drain. So yeah, this was the Methodist church. This is the parking lot here. So they've got a bit of a parking lot there too. But you would suggest that they pulled in through this one and then parked here maybe or something. Dropped her off, or he dropped her off on the road and then she walked in here, or even walked till there's a footpath here. So even if he pulled over on the shoulder and then dropped her off, and then the camera facing from this building here onto the street maybe caught her walking or something. So yeah, it's pretty open. You could see it. But there is a lot of water around here too. Look at that. These bloody estate homes in Florida, they love their lakes. They're like, let's build some houses, but we need to have 5 lakes minimum. People won't buy a house unless there's a lake. Got to have a lake, otherwise we won't sell any houses. I think that's the motto in Florida. Got to have 5 lakes. See, there's one. There's another. There's another one. There's a couple. There's a big one. There's another one. And whatever this is. Got to have lakes. I don't know. I mean, if that's the last place she was seen, she could have got into trouble in this waterways, or I mean, that's not if even if they would know what direction she walked, I guess. So if she went this way and got somehow over here, they'd know, and that's probably where they would be searching. But they were searching at Osprey Park. Can we see that on this map anywhere? No. I would have to look it up. Snakes. Like anacondas? Probably. Gators, yes. Hey Shad, how are you? Afternoon, sir. Maybe she did run away, too scared her mother would not believe her. He told her that. Yeah, I would believe that in a heartbeat. Laura G says maybe he thought she was going to tell someone about the abuse and had to stop her. Yes, could be. Could be. Alright, let me see where this Osprey Park is. Osprey Park. Welcome to the Osprey Park. Oh, okay. It's maybe it is where we were just looking. It's like a retirement community. Maybe that is where we were just looking. Hold on. No, don't do that. Let me see if we can get like a... Or is that the right one? There's the Hunter Creek. So it's like right behind? Okay. Private park, okay. That's the Florida Greenway. I'm just trying to get my bearings, then I'll go back to the big map. Hunters and Town Boulevard, okay. So we go... I'm probably getting this wrong. It's like Hunters and Town Boulevard is where it said. There's the Town Boulevard. Here, Osprey. Up here somewhere? So they're looking up in this region? Okay, I don't know. This map's not showing me the same roads as the other one. Town Loop Boulevard. Okay. So yeah, maybe up here. So quite a distance, at least a bit of a distance up into here. Hunter Creek Elementary. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff around there. Look at that. There's green spaces everywhere. If you got into any of this or, you know, not even far off the beaten path either. You just kind of go through a car park and you're into here. They've got a lot of area to search. Look at all this. All this kind of like foresty area. Is that forest? Yep. It's trees, water. Yeah, they got a hell of a search area to look through. Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll find out eventually. Maybe tomorrow when they have time to question him now and try to apply pressure and then try to get answers. They got to find her. If he did something to her, then hopefully he gives up where she is. If he didn't make her disappear but did stuff to make her disappear, then maybe they will still be able to find her and bring her home. That would be nice. Be nice to have a somewhat nice missing person ending for once. Okay. No more maps. No more maps. I'm mapped out. Let's go back here. Let's put the nice girl on the screen again. Oh, we got a missing child thing. There we go. There we go. All right. I had another one. Where is it? If I get more on her, I will bring it to you. Someone's replying to me. I've got another story. It is not sub-related. It is an old missing person investigation. I might have to bring it back up from Sean. Where is it? Sean, where is your email? Here. So the case that I was talking to Sean about earlier is this one. It is the Rachel Childs 2001 cold case murder, particularly brutal, like death and murder. So it says Rachel Childs was gruesomely murdered on the New South Wales South Coast in 2001, and despite a $200,000 reward, police have never found her killer. Homicide Squad detectives have issued a new appeal for information, with the case due to be reviewed under the new Unsolved Murder Framework. I think that just means it goes to a new set of detectives that they've put together for cold cases. In the early hours of Friday, 8th June 2001, the burning body of 23-year-old Rachel was located on fire in a shallow ditch off Crook River Road near the town of, I'm going to get this wrong, it's Garoa. So we go. Investigations revealed Rachel, who was a car salesperson, left her Camden workplace in the afternoon on Thursday, the 7th of June 2001, and got changed at her Bargo home before heading to the Bargo Hotel. Rachel's car, a dark blue 1978 Holden Commodore with registration GV2000, was located at the Bargo Hotel on Sunday the 9th of June 2001. But what's interesting is when they located that car was like completely sealed up. It was locked. It looked like no one had been in there. It looked like she'd parked it there and never gone back to it. Looked like she never made it back to her car at any point. And they thought that was very weird. Despite an exhaustive investigation at the time and an extended coronial inquest, the circumstances surrounding Rachel's death are unknown, and no one has ever been charged in connection to her murder. The murder of Rachel Childs shocked the community, and the fact that it remained unsolved after, I think it's almost 20 years now, is frustrating for her family and police. We are putting fresh eyes on the case, and we hope this new process will allow us to provide more outcomes for more families, including Rachel's. There's a photo of her. During the original investigation, detectives determined she parked her car in the back car park of the Bargo Hotel at about 6:30 p.m. on Friday, but what happened next remains unknown. By all accounts, she was a vivacious young woman, and it's unlikely she would have gone unnoticed in the pub, but to this day, no one can account for her movements that night. Rachel told friends she was, or I hope I'm saying that right, it's not Rachel, but we'll see. She was meeting someone at the hotel, but didn't say who, and again, that person has not come forward nor has been identified. It's really frustrating in these cold cases where no one remembers seeing her that night. No one knows who she was meeting up with. No one knows why she was going to that pub. And yet, after 20 years, not a single person has come forward with a shred of information about what happened after 6:30 p.m. that night. Nothing. Like, they just don't know what she did after she got out of that car. Did she go to the pub? Did she have a few drinks? Did she meet up with a girlfriend, a guy? Was she going on a date with someone, like, unbeknown to anyone else? Like, it's really bizarre. It says Detective Superintendent Cook added a $200,000 reward, and it was still on offer for information that leads to the conviction of those responsible for her death. It looks like a photo from back in the day. Either that or it's a composite image. But these are the old police buses from back in the early 2000s and 90s. This is the old forensic services van. This is the hotel where she was. I think this looks like a restage. This looks like maybe it almost looks like they did this later on, but made it look like the early, like the 70s or 2000s or whatever. They made it look like it's older than it is. but I don't know. It could be a photo from back then. It says the movement of her car is of particular interest to investigators, and while it was 17 years ago, her car was very distinctive, and we believe this could refresh a memory. We have witness reports that the Commodore was seen parked at the hotel at varying times between Friday evening and Sunday when it was seized, but we don't believe it was there the entire time. That's interesting. So her car moved on and off the property several times between when she first got there on Friday and then sometime over the weekend. That's odd. They said, we believe the car traveled to Garoa area and was driven back to Bargo. So we are very interested in speaking to anyone who was on the road around that time and may have seen the car. Further, we know that her body was burnt with petrol. So we are also keen to speak to anyone who may have seen her vehicle at a service station that evening. Someone out there knows something. So if you know anything that could help us and provide answers to her family, now is the time to free your conscience and speak to us. And this was 3 years ago that they were able to it's Rachel or Michelle, Rachel. Now it's lost all meaning. What are you doing to me? Hold on. Like, oh, Rachel, I get it. Yeah. A fresh set of eyes. Well, this was 3 years ago. It's a while ago. There was a new call for like information the other day. Hold on. I just wanted to show you this one. This one had background information, but there's a new one. Where is it? 3 days ago. 3 days ago. Yeah. Her sister wants the increase in the reward money in a bid to try and solve the cold case. I want to ask this. Do you think if they upped it to $1 million, which there are some cases in Australia that have a $1 million reward, do you think it would do anything if $200,000 hasn't brought anyone out of the woodwork to give information? Do you think that an extra $800,000 would be the tipping point to give information to solve the homicide, or do you think 200 probably would have been enough to get someone to come forward already? I find that interesting, and I wonder what the psychological reasoning is behind thinking that might help. Or is it just, it's just a bigger number? It just, bigger is always better. It says the sister of a woman whose partially burnt body was found more than 20 years ago has appealed to the New South Wales Police to increase the reward money for her case. Christy Morris, that's her sister, says the $200,000 reward on offer to help catch her sister's killer is not enough. The petition is about raising the reward to $500,000, which is definitely not unheard of. It's quite common. The reason why is because we want people to be talking about it. We want people thinking about that time, where they were, if there are any details they can remember, and just raising the reward will get Rachel's case, there you go, back into the public eye, which is what we are hoping for. The coronial inquest handed down in August 2008 ruled Miss Childs had been deliberately killed, but police did not have enough evidence to identify her killer. That's really sad. It says 5 years earlier, police held a mass voluntary DNA screening, the first of its kind in New South Wales, but it failed to produce definitive results. Did it produce any results? Why not definitive results? What do you mean? Is there something there that might be interesting? Because I find it interesting that they use the word definitive. Was there something there that they just couldn't get to the end of? I might chase that down. It's an interesting wording. Miss Morris believes circumstances may have changed for people living in tight-knit communities since then. We are hoping that perhaps those relationships are changed. They might be more willing to come forward with new information. Because we do know there are people out there who definitely know something, and this case is solvable. We just need the community's help. She said key questions such as what happened to Miss Child's car, why it was parked at the pub, and whether it was used on the night of the murder still needed to be answered. She said, "My opinion is that she didn't park the car there, so it's quite a mystery. Someone needs to come forward, so we hope raising the reward, getting it back in the public eye, will give the justice that she deserves." It's interesting. I want to know what happened to that DNA test and why it's not definitive. Like, why are they wording it like that? Hold on, let's have a look. A voluntary mass DNA screening program will continue today in Camden, southwest of Sydney, as part of a police investigation into the murder of a young woman 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Oh, yes, they did this in May 2003. The body of 23-year-old Rochelle Childs was discovered in burnt-out bushland in Garoa on the south coast in June 2001, 9 hours after she was last seen at the Hotel Embargo in Southern Highlands. Police yesterday began to take DNA samples from men who were friends, workmates, or near the hotel the night Miss Childs disappeared to help eliminate them as suspects. Police expect to take about 20 samples from people at Camden today. It's the first time that DNA has been collected en masse for a murder case in New South Wales. Samples were taken to help solve the, R word of an elderly woman in the northwest of New South Wales in 2000. They also did it on an island. There was a murder and something else on an island in Australia, and they ended up testing all males on the island to help find the killer. I can't remember if they did or not, but I do remember that it was like mandatory. You had no choice. You had to have your DNA taken. It was done via the court. But this is interesting. So they were only going to test 20 people from Camden. It doesn't seem like enough, right, to really get like a wide web, because they're saying they're going to test people who were friends or workmates or near the hotel. One, that you need a voluntary admission to be near the hotel that night. But these ones, friends and workmates, what's the chances that maybe neither of those are involved? What if it was someone at the pub and then you don't have a voluntary admission to being there that night? You need to sort of cast that web further to try and get them caught up in it. But I am interested in why they said it was failed to produce definitive results. It's an interesting wording. I don't know. I'll have to research that. Yeah, that would be interesting. Kathy Lynch says, I'd love to know the stats on people who come forward for the reward and under what circumstances does it get paid out or not get paid out, and how many cases has it solved. The Journey to Justice says, someone talk to someone, they always do. Jojo says, I'm not sure, but I know that time lessens loyalty in almost every relationship. Maybe now someone will talk. My opinion is that it can't hurt, right? It can't hurt. If you have to give up an extra $300,000 and you end up solving a 25-year murder, well, it's like 23 years, a 23-year-old murder, then that's good, right? The family gets some justice and some answers maybe, and they can sort of stop having to fight for 23 years. Could you imagine if that was your life and you had to fight every single day for your murdered relative because you feel like you're not getting the answers you need? So I just say, just do it. It can't hurt. And if you get the answers, great. If you don't, then you're going to have to try a different method. Obviously, the reward is not making that person that you need come forward. So I don't know, you're going to have to try something completely different. Maybe finding out the census information for that region for that year. Maybe you could find out all males above 18 to 64, and the ones that are still alive, you could DNA test or something and get it done through the court so it's mandatory, not voluntary. I don't know. I don't know how hard that would be to do. I'm not a lawmaker, nor am I a cop, but I know they did do it in a different case one time. But I don't know. I agree with the sister. So who makes that? Who would she have to go to get that reward money increase? The chief of police, possibly? Who is the who issues the reward? Who? Just like the New South Wales police. Okay. That doesn't really help. But as you can see, I'll show you. These cases all have $1 million rewards. All of these ones have $1 million rewards. These ones all have $750,000 in reward money. All these ones have $500,000. These ones have 350. This one has 300. This one has $250,000. And she should be on here. Where is she? No? She's under the 200,000. There she is. Rochelle Childs. There. So there's more cases under $1 million here. Look how many. There's heaps that have got $1 million reward. There's less under the 200. There's only 6. So even if she just wanted to raise it to the 500,000, it's not even that many. I don't see the big deal. Police should be able to do that for them. What's interesting is under the $1 million reward, you have William Terrell, and his case isn't even that old. I mean, it is old for a missing child case. It's almost 10 years old, but her one's almost 23 years old. So this one got to $1 million within a few years. Her one's been languishing since 2001, and she doesn't have her case up here for $1 million. So don't worry about the $500,000. Go straight up for the $1 million. Get the $1 million reward. Make a big press briefing out of it, and see if we get some answers for the family. That would be really, really good. What does this website say about her and her reward money? Let's have a look. Here, how do you claim the reward? Contact Crime Stoppers or your local police station. Identify yourself. Indicate you have information about a crime and that you wish to claim a reward. You'll be then put in contact with a police officer involved in the investigation of that case. You will then be arrested. No, I'm just joking. What else does it say? So if you don't want to claim the reward, you can contact Crime Stoppers anytime on 1-800-333-000, and it is strictest confidence. So it's anonymous. You don't have to give your name, but you can give information. You might not get the reward, but you can help solve the case and not get known for who you are. It says her body was found partially burned and was located in a shallow ditch off Crooked River Road. It's a shame the coronial inquest couldn't find more about her. That's about who might have hurt her. I think the key to this is in 23 years, the person that she was supposedly meeting that night, why haven't they come forward? If they're innocent and an innocent party in all this, how come they just haven't come forward to say, yeah, I was with her. She came to meet me, but then she left after. Oh, I don't know what happened to her after that. But, we had a drink and we had a meal and, she said she was going to go. And so I said, oh, have a great night. It was nice seeing you. But they haven't come forward in 23 years. That is very weird. Oh, that's interesting. Is it Marie Yan? Maria? Yan just went up to 1 million, I think, after 45 years. Wow. Yeah, Potter, I don't know. I don't have any statistics on if cases like, is there any more success when you raise a case's profile from like a smaller amount of money to a higher amount of money? Is there any success in information coming in? I highly doubt that New South Wales Police or any police department in Australia or in the world probably would release that information. I just don't think we'll ever find out. Laura Thomas says that was going to be my question. Yeah. Why did they not come forward? Because they did it, maybe. It is strange, right? If it was something innocent, they would have just come forward and just said so. Like a day after they found her, they would have been like, "Oh my god, I was the last person to see her. I can't believe she was. I just met her that night. She was a lovely woman. I'm like, I can't believe it." But nothing. That's an interesting question, Sienna. Could they rerun the DNA test now? Depends how much of the sample do they have left, if any. They may have used it all up when they did the original testing, not thinking about the future. So possibly it's been used up. I know that happened in a couple of cases in America. Was it? It might have been the Golden State Killer. The Golden State Killer, they had very limited fragments of DNA left, and they had one, I think they had one left, and they used it to pin it to the guy they got. And they just had one sample left, and it was a Hail Mary, and they did it. They got it, and a man is now behind bars for the rest of his life for all those break-ins and murders and R-words and sexual assaults, and they had one shot at it. That's interesting, Shell Huffman. Shell Huffman says in the US you can only claim the reward if there is a conviction. They normally say something like that here too. It has to lead to the conviction of the person. But let me see what it says about this one. What does it say you have to do? Normally it says stuff like that here too, like in order to claim the reward, it has to lead to the person who, did the crime, therefore they'll be charged. And then when they're charged and sentenced, then you'll get the money. The reward of up to $200,000 is payable for information that leads to the conviction of the person or people responsible for her death. So there you go. Yes, it needs to be a conviction of the person. So it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. No, that's very sad. Jojo says, I personally knew a guy who left the bar with a lady. They partied all night, then went to bed, so he thought. She stayed up and overdosed and died. He walked out and left her dead. Oh my God. When drugs are involved, I think this is common. The guy was caught and did 20 years. That's why they don't call the cops. It's very interesting. Yeah, so it has to get a conviction. Potter says, looking at the list, a lot of the $1 million ones are for cases where there are definite suspects. Yeah, I noticed that about the list, that a lot of them are the type of cases where they're missing like one little bit of information. Like they really are. They're missing just that one little thing that pins it on the person they have already. Like they know who did it, but they just don't have enough to prove it. And a lot of those $1 million rewards are those type of cases. A lot of them are where they have definite suspects, they have some evidence, but not enough to go to trial. And they need like a new witness, or they need someone who saw them that night or something like that. So that's interesting that you saw that. The journey to justice says maybe that's why people don't come forward. What's the point, I guess? Well, didn't we talk about a few weeks ago? There was something in America where people were complaining that they had come forward and helped police solve cases, but weren't given the money. and they used all these different loopholes to not pay out the money. They used like, it wasn't for this, or it wasn't for that, or you didn't give us enough information and we solved it. Like, we used your information to solve it, but we're the one who found the person, so you don't qualify for the reward. Yeah, there was quite a few of them in America. That's probably a mistake, Potter. They probably didn't update it. Not surprising. Which one was that? Hold on. Which one's on? There's one for 100 grand, and then one up for 1 million. Who is it? Let's have a look. Is it that one? Murder of Michael Bully? I think I saw that in the bottom one. No. I don't know. It's too many names. Maybe you can tell me which one it is. A lot of these are quite famous. These $100 million ones. Not $100 million, $1 million. The Luna Park fire, they're still trying to figure that out. If you don't know about this, in 1979, just over here on the other side of this, this is the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Just on the other side of this, like, concrete structure here, there used to be a like a carnival, like a permanent carnival, and it used to be called Luna Park, and it was just on the other side of the bridge on this side, and there was a fire deliberately lit, and it killed a bunch of people. And for years, they've been trying to figure out who. They sort of have a couple of ideas who it might be, but they're not 100% sure. But they've been trying to get someone convicted of it for a long time. There is a documentary that came out. What is it called? Hold on. It was called Exposed: The Ghost Train Fire. So is that something you think you would watch? You should look it up. It's on Netflix in America. It is a really good series. I think the first couple of episodes were the best. The end wasn't that great. I thought they lost focus near the end, but the first two were very interesting. Yeah, so it's a very odd. There's so many. This is one of these cases that sort of enter like folklore or like urban legend. There's so many different stories and yeah, like urban legends about it. Like the guy dressed up as the devil or whatever with the horns, and he's some sort of like, ghost or something. I wish I could show you the photo of the. Actually, I can show you a photo of the fire, maybe. Yeah, so there's the fire. This is sort of like the aftermath over here. Let's see. There you go. That was how big the fire was at the amusement park. And this was the character that they're like, oh my god, he's some sort of like ghost devil. He's a premonition of what's going to happen that night. I think it was just a guy in character down at the down at the harbor trying to get a few dollars from tourists. I don't think he was some sort of like, some sort of like spooky photo that's full of ghosts and stuff. But yeah, that was the aftermath. That was all that was left. See, I told you it was on the other side of the Harbour Bridge. This is on the opposite side. They ended up rebuilding this, and as a child, I did actually go here when I lived in Sydney. I went here quite a few times. My uncle used to live very close to here. Yeah, you can kind of see it wasn't a lot left, and then that's when they rebuilt it, I think. Either that's when they rebuilt it or that's Melbourne. I'm not sure. But there was here you go. It used to have this face that lit up at the front, and you used to walk in under the teeth. It used to looked a bit scary actually. But yeah. Siana says, I wonder what the stats are of how many people actually received reward money money is not rewarded for the info. I'm not sure. I don't think they release that type of information. Oh shoot, it's like 5:10. We're talking for too long. All right, I have to wind up for the night, guys. It's like 1 a.m. in the morning. I appreciate it. These the late shows are just bonus shows. I do them as sort of when I can, if I can, and if there's enough cases to kind of have a bit of an hour later on in the night. But it's the people who subscribe and like and share and leave comments and come to the chat, and of course send in donations each week. I couldn't do it without you. There's no way I could do 2 shows each day without that support. So I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. Thank you to all the people that came in tonight. Thanks to all the new subscribers. It's really cool to see my email light up with this person subscribed and this person subscribed. So it's really a great feeling, and it's nice to know we're succeeding. So I love it. And I love seeing everyone here. We get to talk about some good stuff and go through all different cases from around the world. So if you'd like to see more of that and you're not subscribed to this channel, think about doing so. And if not, it's okay. You can still come and watch. I won't be mad at you. But I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be back at 9 p.m. Eastern for our normal structured episode of Nights with Ping. And that's it. That's it. I love you all. Good night, everyone. Sleep well. Have a great day tomorrow, and come back at 9 p.m., okay? See you later.